Great. Well, everyone, my name is Leah Caputo, and I am the program manager with the Colorado Women's Chamber of Commerce. And so excited to have you all here today to talk about two of my favorite programs that we offer at the Chamber is our Leadership Lab and our Mentorship program. And we're thrilled to have a couple guest speakers with us as well today to talk a little bit about their experiences with both programs. But before we get started, I know a few on this call are not members yet of the Chamber. So we wanted to give you just a quick overview of our Chamber membership. The Colorado Women's Chamber of Commerce is our organization that's really focused on making Colorado the #1 state for women in business. Super easy, right? Like not a big challenge at all. We're here to advance that mission. But we think, two of these programs that we're talking about today really are in efforts to support that work. The Chamber was founded in the late 80s, and a lot has changed since we started the Chamber. We do have a very active Chamber of individuals and companies, and we are one of the largest women-centric chambers in the country, which is something that we're really excited about to be able to support a lot of the work that we're doing. Our mission, as I mentioned, is to make Colorado the #1 state for women in business and work. And we're here to really focus on doing that through community connections and development. So how are we, giving content, supporting, and also creating access to additional community members? Our team is small but mighty, and you actually have half of the full-time team here on the call. So myself being the program manager here at the Colorado Women's Chamber of Commerce. Simone is our fearless leader and CEO of the Chamber. Yahtzee here, you all heard her earlier, but she is our amazing member engagement coordinator, member engagement coordinator and operations person. So anything tech, Yahtzee's our girl. And then Kate is our business development manager. So I'm going to dive right in since we do have a couple guest speakers I want to get to shortly. And I want to start with our Leadership Lab program. So this is one of our formerly called the Women of Impact and Influence Leadership Program. Very long-winded, didn't really hit a little bit of what we did. So we've rebranded officially this year to Leadership Lab. And we're really thrilled to have Crystal here momentarily talk about her experience and some of those changes that we have this year. But what is the Leadership Lab? So this is, as I mentioned, one of our larger cohort-based programs. It's really focused for individuals to gain those leadership skills that you need to advance and become experts in industry. So really focusing on negotiation, board service, how to understand, strategic alignment within your organizations. We do teach some skills like public speaking. And I know one of my favorite speakers from last year was our public speaker individual that came in from the Denver Center for Performing Arts to talk a little bit about what is public speaking and how to become a really impactful speaker. Being an ally in work and really what does that mean? And also too, just how to be a leader with authenticity and vulnerability. So those are some of those skills and content that our individuals get over the course of the program. They really fall into what we call our 4 areas of impact, our impact buckets. And you can see those 4 here, which is advancement and retention, allyship, cultural norms, and identity. Identity really does incorporate some of those equity pieces that we talk through throughout the program, but we have an amazing facilitator of this program that really aligns our content with those areas of focus. The other key component of our Leadership Lab is our capstone project. This is something that we're going to be, Crystal can talk a little bit about her experience, but in small groups from the cohort, participants will complete deep work focused in those 4 impact areas that I just mentioned to really address some of the issues that are impacting women in work and business. So it's really a lot of understanding and research and getting to feel for what are the issues impacting women and how can we be solution-based in addressing those. These projects are going to culminate in a big summit at the end of the program, where the community, the CWCC community will hear from our participants. This is in addition to the work that you're going to be doing in each of our sessions. So expect a few additional hours a month to really be addressing this project. But Crystal can talk a little bit about her amazing project, but some of our areas this year talked about workplace flexibility, getting more women of color into the C-suite area, talking about pay equity. So really big issues that our community can then take these ideas and solutions and hopefully implement them in their work. Our leadership lab, just details. So the application is currently live and online, and we'll be sharing that in a follow-up email to everyone. The full price of this program is $30,250. There are some discounts depending on membership levels, which we can talk about later. And we do have some need-based scholarships as options as well. So these are opportunities. We don't want costs to be prohibitive to participate in this program. And it is going to be in person only in these sessions. We did have some sessions last year. We did move virtually due to snowstorms or things like that. But primarily, our sessions are intended to be all in person for this program. And part of the expectation as well as this cohort is that you are an active member of the CWCC community. So if you are not a member currently, that is definitely something a member of our team can help facilitate if and when you are selected for these programs. So that goes for both our leadership and our mentorship program. The meeting expectations for Leadership Lab is they do meet once a month for a full Friday, starting in October and culminating in June with that final presentation. The sessions themselves are from 9 to 3. There are breaks in between some of those sessions, really focused on hopefully giving everyone brain breaks, obviously, but also to address any emails we know or take some calls. We know that a full day away from your office is sometimes difficult. And so we want to make sure that you're present during those sessions, and we do give some time away to address some other concerns that you might have throughout your day. You are allowed to miss up to 2 sessions throughout the course of the program, because we do know that things do come up. But if you do miss more than that, we feel like it does impact the work of your group and also of your learning. So throughout this program, if that does happen, we as staff will kind of address those issues with you and maybe ask to leave the program dependent on circumstances. The dates here are listed below. So those are going to be our 9, 10 dates that we have for the course of this program. And our amazing facilitator last year, she is actually an award-winning Denver Business Journal facilitator, is actually coming back. So we're really excited to have Julia Alvarez come back to be a facilitator for this program. Now, without further ado, I'm going to have Crystal kind of just share a little bit about her amazing experience in this program. She was just part of our most recent cohort and comes to us from Delta Dental of Colorado and is the accounting operations manager. So Crystal, can you share just a little bit about what your experience was and talk a little bit about the content and also to that capstone project?
Yes, thank you, Leah. So I'll start a little bit as to why I applied for the program. And I did mainly because I had just recently moved to Colorado in April of 2022. So I was hoping to utilize this more to meet women in the same space that I was in and to build a network for my community. And I also wanted to finally face my fear of public speaking and to be able to take that next step in my career. And to go piggyback on what Leah said about Julia as a facilitator, I can't say enough good things. She was amazing. She kept us engaged. She created space for us to be vulnerable and was very organized and intentional with how she led each session. And the speakers each time were amazing. I gleaned so much information from each of them. But the topics that resonated the most for me was the causes of gender wage gap. And that was with our speaker, Tracy Sitzman. And she focused on the impacts of religion and the gender wage gap. So for me, that session kind of hit home because I grew up in such a religious household. So to be able to think back to see how it influenced my thoughts and my career path, it also helped me challenge my thoughts during that session. And that was an intense session for, I would say, for all of us. And then the public speaking and the power of messaging. I took away 3 takeaways from that to heart, and that was to focus on pitch, volume, tempo and tone, and being able to be transparent. And that helped me get really set up for our capstone project. And then the capstone project for my group, we focused on soft skills that we wanted to recoin as power skills. And we were able to really dive into this topic, and we all interviewed top C-suite level execs all within our corporations. And we met about, I would say 1 to 2 times a week. And yes, when you are planning for that project, you do have to kind of pick up on the hours that you put into it, but it definitely was all worth it. I think what I learned from that, it kind of, for me as a leader, confirmed that my management style not only worked for me, but it's what my company and team needed. So what I took away from the whole entire, I would say, project is that one of the stats that was told to us in the beginning that sat with me is that women would only apply for positions that they were only 100% qualified for. And men would maybe apply for a position that they were 50% qualified for and get that job. And I was one of those females. I would only apply for a job if I could tick off all of the boxes. And I decided after this is that I would start to put myself out there for side hustles for bookkeeping. And I'm in the dental insurance industry, and I've always been in the dental insurance industry. And I recently have gotten some other gigs where before I would have said no because I was like, I don't have the experience. And now I'm like, it's okay. I know I'm capable. I will have the experience and I'm good to go. And I've been okay to speak up more at work, to be able to take up space. So for me, the initial reason why I went in was to meet a network of women, which I did. But what I gained from it was the confidence, able to public speak on a whim and hone that in. So the program to me was beneficial in more ways than I initially went in.
Amazing. Thank you, Crystal. And you did a great job public speaking this.
Thank you.
I would agree. And as you alluded to, our speaker, as I mentioned also to our speaker from the Denver Center for Performing Arts, one of the amazing feedback we got from her is that she talked a little bit about what to do when public speaking and not what to remove from your own authenticity when you do your public speaking. So as you can see, I'm already using my hands. That's how I organically talk. And she encourages that type of behavior too, to really make you as an authentic speaker. So it is definitely things, even as someone who organizes the program, that I can take a lot away from as well. This capstone project and presentation that we did this year is very different than what we've done in years past. It is something that we felt is unique to this program and to what the CWCC can offer for this amazing opportunity. The other piece of it is that these presentations that they did also were coupled with a kind of 3 to 4 page paper that we are then going to be getting out to the public. It was just finally edited over last week. So those papers are going to be on our website, able to be disseminated to our community as well. And so all of our members of the cohort, outside of getting this amazing facilitation from Julia, our facilitator, also gets this opportunity to be kind of published authors. And being able to share that as part of their journey too, to hopefully advance in any kind of career aspirations that they might have. So really exciting stuff. Another thing that we covered in that program this year was with this amazing pay equity conversation and some of those ties to the religious areas. But we did an exit survey for some of our amazing, did an exit survey for all of our amazing participants. And of those that completed the survey, we had about 75% get a 10 to 20% pay increase over the course of the program, whether that's coming from just, confidence or, those negotiation skills that we had kind of covered in the program. So there are some really great tangible and actionable things that can come from it too. So thank you, Crystal, for sharing. And we'll move, we'll have time for questions kind of at the end, but we'll move now on to our mentorship program. So our CWCC mentorship program is a little bit different and geared towards more of our leaders that are in the kind of director level already and that are moving into or want to move into the executive or C-suite in the next few years. Our leadership lab is really geared towards our emerging leaders or those that are really wanting to build kind of community or transitioning in different industries. So anywhere from 5 to 10 years of experience, maybe it might be your first time leading teams, versus our mentorship program, which is our program that's really geared towards those that are looking to potentially become those executives or in the C-suite. And so really excited to have both a mentor and a mentee with us today to talk about their experiences. But what is this program overall? So we have 3 key components to this program. We want to help develop and grow our leaders, as I mentioned, but we have over the course of the sessions that they meet, they will have a networking time to really get to know each other and to know some of our amazing speakers that are there that day. We have panel discussions led by our CEO, Simone Ross, that has our panel of amazing founders, CEOs, current and past CEOs in the community, and those that are in that C-suite area. And then there is time to have one-on-one or small group mentoring. So over that session, you get these key components. My favorite thing that Simone was always saying is you had to reach out to those mentors on your own time as well, and challenged each of our mentees to really make those connections with our mentors. We try to, over the course of the program, rotate each of our mentees with our mentors, so you can find a good fit for yourself to then continue on that relationship after the program, to really, connect with somebody. We don't want to force a mentor to be with a mentee that's not a great fit. So we really encourage that organic opportunities. Here too, each of our panel discussions is focused on a different one of these categories here on the screen. So you'll see there's quite a lot that we cover. And I want to even say in our first session, and Barbara can maybe attest to this, and Sophia as well, but I believe Simone made every single mentor on that panel cry, including herself and our men mentors and allies in the space. So it is a really, authentic and vulnerable space to talk about experiences. What are the details for this program? So the application also too is live online. The full cost of the program is $2,000. Discounts again, dependent on your membership level and need-based scholarships. These are in person. I do know for sure last year we had one that we moved virtually because of a ridiculous snowstorm in Colorado. But typically these again are intended to be in person as well. And the same expectation for your membership to the CWCC for this program. The meeting expectations. The class meets once a month on a Wednesday morning from 7:30 to 9:30. We meet over at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. They graciously are a host for this from October to March. For this program, since it is a little bit shorter and not as long of a time commitment for our mentees, we do have you're able to miss one class for that program specifically. And then here are the dates for those as well. And each of our sessions has quite a few mentors there. Sometimes they're sitting on the panel and we rotate who sits on the panel too, so everyone can hear from our mentors. But then our mentors are also in the audience. And one thing that I took away from this program is some of our mentors, when I would ask, kind of learning at the end of each session, 2 or 3 of our mentors every single time would tell us what they learned from the panel and from the mentees in the room. And they become some of my favorite pieces too, because that just shows that even our mentors in the room are learning from each other and learning from this group. So it's a really great environment for you to be a part of as well. But I would love to have Sophia here talk a little bit about her experience as being a mentee in the program. She is part of the Colorado Office of Public Guardianship and has some really great news that I would also love you just to share about this past year. But as an attorney and executive director of this very exciting thing that just happened.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. Yeah, so our, let me see, where do I start? Our office, we're an independent state agency under the judicial branch. So I come from a little different perspective as a government state agency versus kind of the business perspective. But we started out as a pilot program here in Denver County. And so before this program started, I shared the news that we ran a bill to make our office go permanent and statewide. So that just passed and is effective July 1. So yay, it's very exciting. This is what I poured my life into for the last 3 years. And so I joked that I'm ready to retire, but I can't. No, I'll probably never be able to retire, but yeah, so that's exciting. So I'll talk a little bit about the mentorship program. This is actually my first role as a director. And so that was kind of why I applied to this mentorship program, because it's the first time I'm having to lead a whole program and manage staff and supervise and things like that. And I knew coming into such a kind of high profile political arena that I would need some guidance. Also, I looked into this program as a minority female and knew that I would have some maybe unique needs as a director and leader in this arena as well. And so I felt that this was a good fit in joining this program. I can't say enough good things about the mentorship program, really. I was asked about one of the topics that really resonated with me, and I couldn't really say one topic was like the one, but I will kind of echo what Crystal mentioned as far as the self-advocacy and confidence. You know, my position is very difficult, and one of the things for me was I get beat up a lot. So, you know, coming into this mentorship program was really helpful in hearing, just being exposed to all the different mentors and mentees and hearing all the different perspectives that everyone brought to it as far as leadership, as far as hearing everyone's journey and struggles, and that it takes a while to develop as a leader. It's not easy, but that you're not the only one going through these things or feeling these things. And it really, like I would say, Barbara, I had a one-on-one with Barbara, and she's wonderful and amazing, and you'll hear from her. But, you know, she gave me some really good advice about, you know, save up those moments, those cards, those times when people do give you the good feedback, so that when you are pushed down and you need to hear those things, you can go back to those things. Sometimes these things are common sense, but you kind of forget these things. And so it's nice to have people to remind you of some of these things. But I would say for me, I really needed the program at a time when my confidence really needed that boost. And so the self-advocacy really helped. And just hearing everybody's different perspectives. We had individuals that you know, worked in DC for a while and brought a different perspective, and just all the different aspects. And it was just amazing. I just loved it. The panel discussions were really wonderful. Simone did a wonderful job in facilitating those. And as Leah said, the panels changed every session. And so you could really get wonderful advice or perspectives from a wide range of individuals. And I think the one thing we were asked, what's the biggest takeaway from the program? There were a lot of takeaways, but one thing that stuck with me, and I think it was our very first session, we had some male allies on the panel, and I was shocked, surprised to hear some of them say that there are a lot of times that they don't have the confidence in the rooms to speak up and say what they also want to say. And so sometimes I try and remember that when I'm feeling that way too, that it's not just me. But those are my things. I don't know.
That's perfect. Thank you, Sophia. And I agree. There's the males in the room too are equally as vulnerable and authentic in their discussion of what it's like to be a leader and a mentor in the space. And some of them are business owners. Some of them are new to the executive space. One of our favorite mentors is Reggie Rivers, who used to play for the Denver Broncos. And he talks a little bit about those metaphors from the football field that has carried over into his business. And those are really wonderful too. So I agree. It's sometimes fascinating to hear a little bit more about their journeys too, and how we have similar things happening. But I don't want to step on any more of that, because Barbara Brooks here is an amazing mentor of ours and is going to talk a little bit about what it's like to be a mentor in the room. And also too, just a little shout out for her, is the most recent class inductee of our top 25 most powerful women in business. So she's going to be honored here in a few weeks, and we're so thrilled to have her here today. You're muted, Barbara.
Yeah, it was such an honor to receive that. When I got the call, I actually had a moment of imposter syndrome, which is something that I speak about often in my company. So I do own a company called Second Act Women. I do come from corporate America. Former mall marketing director of Park Meadows Retail Resort. Actually never call it a mall. It's a retail resort. But that's my background is being in corporate America, a marketer and a PR specialist. And now with Second Act Women, and really I like to consider my partnership with the Colorado Women's Chamber. I was more than honored to actually ask to serve as a mentor, because I feel as though I do that within my own company, but also not only did I say yes to being a mentor, but honestly, I sat in that room as the mentee as well. A lot of times age doesn't matter. I'm 56, age doesn't matter. And so although I was poised to be a mentor, what I loved about being in the room every month was also, again, I was learning something new. For me as a mentor, and for those of you that may be looking at becoming a mentor, just being on the other side of things, the impact that it made on me was similar to what you heard from Sophia and others. For me, the connections that were made, listening and sitting on panels with other people that are making big moves in the city. Also hearing from men, as we said, as I like to call them, our allies, who also expressed what Sophia said, but also were inspired and encouraged to look at us the way we should be looked at as women, as hirees, and be with the fact that we need to be heard, understood, valued in our workspaces and in our small businesses, and the eye-opening moments that I believe they had too by hearing our stories was powerful, I think. And so I think it's great when you have just not just intergenerational teams, which I, as a pro-age advocate, I believe in that, but also, again, having other allies in the room was really powerful, I think, for both you as the mentor and the mentorship. I think what was really great too, and I'm gonna speak kind of globally as both being on both sides, because I took a lot out of it, was the idea generation, is having these aha moments and speaking with people, and talking with Sophia and Helen and some other people that I was there to have one-on-ones with. I actually took away and had aha moments, and I needed to make sure I had my notepad with me so that I can actually take some of the things that they were saying and apply it to my everyday, I don't call it work, because it's my career is to serve my community of women over 40, 50, 60 plus. And so I love the big ideas that came from it. And that's on both sides of the coin. Also, it boosted my curiosity, which I think it does for the mentor, the mentee as well, as there is a lot of curiosity, just listening, either sitting on a panel or again, sitting in the room or having those one-on-ones, the curiosity factor that came from listening, like literally listening and learning from the people that I was having conversations with, boosted my curiosity, and I'm hopeful that it did the same for them. I love what Sophia said. I do say I have my little pineapple here that I did talk about, that when we're oftentimes as women and men and allies, when we're brought down, one of the things that I always like to impress upon people is to, create your own pineapple or your own way of taking your kudos, putting them aside, making sure that you drop them somewhere so that when you have a bad day or that customer gave you a hard time or life is lifing, make sure that you pull it out. And so that was one of the things that I always want to make sure I have an impact on people, as well as that's something that I do as well. It opened doors for collabs and partnerships, not only with me doing more with the Colorado Women's Chamber, but also leading to other opportunities for my company, for my own personal brand, for my own business brand. Let's see, what I love, one of the things, lastly, because I can keep talking, as Leah knows. One of the things that I also took away, and this is a little sidebar, is I met a wonderful woman from Delta Dental. She has a side gig. So she produces lotions and creams and all of that. And I have to say that I'm so glad and thankful that I met her, again, going to the fact that the people in the room you never know will have a big effect on you. I'm a new caregiver as of March, with my mom having had a stroke at 85. She's now 86, and she has a skin problem. She has an issue with dry skin. And one of the things that I had to impress upon the people that are now taking care of my mother is that they need to do this. They need to lotion her up. Well, guess what? I took that lotion that she had, that I had learned about, and it's the best lotion for my mother's skin. And I am ordering and reordering and ordering. So I also became a client and a customer of someone. So there you have it. You never know.
Yeah,
what's
lots of
happen
things
in a room.
come from those rooms. I'd say the first time that Barbara met Kelly, I'm pretty sure I had to be like the bouncer and kick you out of the museum that day.
Yes, you did.
So great connections through the mentorship program, and also through our leadership lab program. Kind of moving into some more of like the logistics and additional information. So we do, as I have alluded to, have some scholarships. These are, here's a little bit more about what those scholarships entail. We do cover up to about 50% if you are awarded with those scholarships. We do feel like there is a piece of it where we want you to have some of those buy into the programs as well, and have those created those expectations. So here's a little bit more about those scholarships. And similarly, here's those eligibility requirements. So these are all on our online application for this program as well. So when you go to fill out applications for both the leadership and our mentorship programs, you will also see links to our scholarship pieces. Those are the eligibility requirements are there too. And this is all based off of funds raised by our Colorado Women's Chamber Foundation. So how much available funds that we have and how much we can award each time depends on the fundraising of that group. So these are situations that we do, take case by case, and based off those applications goes to our review committee. The amount too is can be up to that 50%. So it's definitely not guaranteed up to that 50. So there's definitely different amounts that we do offer. And in some cases, as Yahtzee will talk about here momentarily, your companies will have access to additional professional development funds, or part of the membership level too gives you some discounts. But these are all about our scholarships. And if you have any questions, you can definitely reach out to me on those as well. But Yahtzee, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Leah. And I want to thank everyone who presented today. Crystal, Sophia, Barbara. It's truly inspirational to hear your stories because it really does show that our work is paying off to advocate for more women in work. And obviously a huge shout out to Leah, who is our fearless leader when it comes to planning everything. So again, thank you, all of you, for presenting today. Before we do end this presentation, I do want to go over membership benefits. So it's in front of you. Like I said, we can share this presentation at the end. Also, the slideshow, so you have it in front of you as well. But I'm just going to go through on each membership level. If you don't know if you're part of a membership or you're unsure what tier you're in, please contact me. I am more than happy to let you know. So starting with our visionary members, you do get a complimentary participant in each program at zero cost. Elite members, you get a discounted rate. So there are the numbers for your leadership and mentorship program. Again, this is not including those scholarship opportunities if you need it, or again, if your company is willing to cover the rest of it. But you do, as an elite member, get that discounted rate. Cornerstone as well, you will see that discounted rate reflected on the slide. And then our classic and solopreneur members, you are eligible to apply to the programs. And again, there is that scholarship opportunity. I do want to highlight that, and I know Leah brought this up, but I want to make sure that everyone knows this. You do have to be a member to apply. So if you are not a member, and if you do not identify with any of these levels, please reach out to me, and I am more than happy to connect you with our business development manager, Kate Hazelbaker. She would walk you through that process and find what is the best fit for you. And ultimately, if that means getting your company on board as a member, we can work that out before the program starts. Before you are able to participate in the program, we do have to make sure that there is a membership established with you. So again, please feel free to reach out. My email is on this slide. The last thing I also want to bring up on top of this membership benefit is I get a lot of questions through member engagement about what that selection process looks like. I do want to put that out there that we like to leave that up to your organization. And I know definitely for our top tier members, they have their own nomination process within their company. So if you are interested, I might need to redirect you to your main contact on the account so they can talk to you a little bit more what that looks like on their end. But if your company is completely unsure or they don't know if they have a nomination process or they need our help, what I encourage companies to do is select a couple people, have them apply, and then our selection committee could make the final decision. But again, we like to make sure that you have that opportunity to create that on your own and select your candidate to use your member benefits. Awesome. There's a nice reminder on the deadline for both programs. As Leah mentioned, this is online, and we will send a follow-up email with those links if you are interested in getting that application started. And then obviously we wouldn't be us if we didn't put the shameless plug, but please check out our calendar for our upcoming events. We did take July as a program break, but that's only because we are getting ready to just get your calendar filled with a lot of great networking events and content programs. And then last but not least, we will be sharing our member tools and resources when we send out this deck, as well as some links to them. And again, this is just for all of you if you need a refresher on what's available to you. Your member portal also has these links. For all of you who are not members, this is also a great way for you to find out what we have to offer through a membership. And then I know our last slide has all our Stay Connected links, our website, our social media handles. Please follow us and mostly sign up for our newsletter because that's where we're going to be sending out our reminders. Just in case you accidentally forget to put it on your Outlook calendar, we'll make sure to blast that out to you and say, hey, you have a week left. Make sure to apply.